Gentlemen, let me ask you something that is simple yet uneasy. When you look at yourself in the mirror these days, do you truly recognize the man looking back at you? Or do you notice someone who has slowly, almost without realizing it, given in to age, to routine, to the weight of expectations? I am not here to flatter you or to offer empty comfort. I am not here to claim that time leaves no trace or that the marks on your face are meaningless. I am here to speak about something far deeper. I am here to share a truth that many men go their entire lives without ever hearing. There are men, ordinary men, no different from you, who move through their 60s, their 70s, and even further with an energy that seems to ignore the calendar. They do not only appear younger, they feel younger inside. Their bodies move with ease. Their posture carries quiet strength. Their presence is felt the moment they walk into a room. And here is the real truth behind it. The reason most men age faster than they need to has nothing to do with skincare products. It has nothing to do with expensive gyms or miracle supplements. It is not even locked into their DNA. It comes down to habits, habits of the mind, the body, and the heart. It is about how you move through life, how you protect your energy, how you relate to the world, to women, and to yourself. Today, I want to lift the veil on 7 habits that separate men who grow older with strength from men who quietly fade into the background, men who move through their 60s with the spark of someone much younger, men who carry calm, authority, natural magnetism, grounded confidence, and a subtle, sensual presence, not by luck, but by conscious choice. You may sometimes feel that your best years are behind you, but youth is not a number printed on a calendar. Youth is a quality. It is a way of being. It is how you live inside your own body and mind. This presence, this quiet attraction, can be built starting right now, starting today. So stay with me and listen closely. This is not about vanity or ego. This is about taking back your power, your desire, and your sense of relevance. By the time you reach the end of this, you will see that true youthfulness is a skill. It is the mastery of your inner world, your physical state, and your relationships. And the real question is not whether you can look younger. The real question is whether you are willing to live younger. Gentlemen, let us begin with a truth that is rarely said out loud but always noticed. Men who seem younger than their age are not defined by strict meal plans, intense workout schedules, or rows of supplement bottles. They are defined by how they relate to life itself. There is a clear difference between merely existing and being fully alive. That difference appears in the lines of your face, in the energy you carry, in how your body moves through space. Youthfulness does not live on the surface, it lives deep within how you engage with the world. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you woke up feeling genuinely curious, feeling pulled towards something beyond the same daily routine? For many men at this stage of life, days start to blur together. Wake up, eat, work, rest, repeat. Over time, this rhythm dulls the spirit. But the men who seem to resist aging refuse to surrender to that pattern. They move through each day with a quiet hunger for life, a sense that there is still something to discover, something to create, something to experience. That hunger is powerful. Women feel it. Younger men notice it. Even people their own age sense it without being able to explain why. It is the energy of a man who has not shut the door on desire, who has not agreed to disappear quietly. This is not about chasing validation or proving anything to anyone. It is about a deep, full engagement with being alive. These men read, they explore ideas, they travel when possible, They learn new skills. Sometimes they play in ways that surprise the people around them. They remain open to surprise. There is an alertness about them, a spark that comes from knowing life can still offer something new. That spark shows up in your posture, in the clarity of your eyes, in how you walk into a room. It cannot be faked. When a man loses this inner spark, his body follows his surrender. His shoulders roll forward. His movements slow down. His energy drains. You see it in men who stop seeking, stop learning, stop wanting. Their presence shrinks, even if their physical size stays the same. But the opposite is also true. Men who stay hungry for life carry lightness, fluid movement, and a quiet joy that draws attention even from people decades younger. This is not chance, it is habit. It is a daily decision to stay awake to life. There is a subtle skill behind this, and it begins with curiosity. A youthful man keeps the ability to ask questions without fear of looking foolish. He enters conversations without needing to dominate them. He listens without rushing to impress. He notices people, moments, and the small details of daily life. He understands that desire is not limited to sex. Desire is the drive to experience life fully, to connect with meaning, to feel engaged. When your nervous system hums with interest instead of resignation, your face, your posture, and even your breathing send a signal that you are alive. People feel this long before you ever speak. These men also understand emotional presence. To be alive is to allow yourself to feel emotions without being consumed by them. Anger, regret, disappointment, frustration. These feelings are not ignored or pushed away, but they are not allowed to harden the body or rule the mind. Men who appear younger have learned how to feel without carrying excess weight. They let emotions pass through them instead of storing them in their muscles and joints. This creates freedom. It creates ease. It protects the body from stress-based aging and quietly communicates that this man is not trapped by emotional heaviness. Then there is the courage to desire, not desire as pressure or performance, but desire as openness. These men allow themselves to want things. They allow themselves to look ahead. They seek experiences, connections, and goals, even small ones, that bring excitement. Desire is youthful because it faces forward. It refuses to submit to the calendar or to society's rules about what a man should want at a certain age. Desire is a muscle, and men who look younger exercise it every day in simple, intentional ways. One of the strongest qualities these men share is comfort with vulnerability. To be fully alive is to admit, at least to yourself, that you are still growing, still learning, still unfinished. This openness creates strength, not weakness. It allows deeper connection, genuine laughter, and a sense of humor about your own imperfections. A man who can hold his vulnerability without shame carries an energy that makes him seem years younger. And there is also a quiet rebellion against time itself, not by denying age, but by refusing to be controlled by it. These men do not measure life only by birthdays or milestones. They measure life by moments of engagement, courage, and desire. They understand that youth is not about stopping time. It is about how fully you live within it. You can be 65, 70, 75, and still carry a presence that cannot be ignored. It is the presence of a man who has chosen to stay awake, curious, engaged, and open. So, if you want to understand why some men seem decades younger, start here. It is not in their clothes, it is not in their diet, it is not even in their exercise plan. It is in how they choose to live with curiosity, desire, presence, and courage. This is the foundation. Without it, every supplement, every gym session, every product is just a weak substitute for the vitality that comes from being fully alive. Now, let us move into something most men rarely talk about, yet it shapes aging more than almost anything else: the invisible weight of unresolved emotion. Aging does not only show up as gray hair or wrinkles. Aging is stored in unprocessed anger, regret, resentment, and disappointment. Many men believe time alone will soften these feelings. They assume years will dull the pain, but emotional weight does not disappear on its own. It settles into the body, it tightens the neck, it hardens the shoulders, it stiffens the spine. It shows in tired eyes and heavy movements. Men who look younger have learned a quiet discipline. They do not carry emotional burdens that no longer serve them. They understand the difference between responsibility and unnecessary suffering. They do not endlessly replay old mistakes. They do not cling to grudges. They do not allow other people's opinions to rule their inner world. This is not denial or avoidance, it is self-respect. Think about how much energy it takes to relive past failures. One memory can tighten your jaw, twist your stomach, and shorten your breath. Now imagine carrying this for decades. This ages a man faster than time itself. Compare that to a man who has made peace with his past. He remembers, but he does not relive. He learns, then lets go. He understands that resentment is like carrying stones in a bag that never gets lighter. At first, the weight feels manageable. Over time, it bends the spine and slows the walk. Men who release emotional weight move differently. Their bodies soften, their faces relax, their energy feels lighter. This is not accidental, it is a daily choice. They forgive not because others deserve it, but because their own body deserves peace. They choose clarity over bitterness. That choice shows in how young they look, how strong they feel, and how deeply they continue to live. Old emotional habits can feel familiar, even protective, but over time, they drain vitality, shorten stride, and pull the body inward. Men who appear younger have learned how to set those stones down. They may still remember them, but they no longer carry them in their muscles and bones. And when a man releases these inner weights, his body responds almost immediately. His posture rises, his walk becomes smoother, his face softens. There is space again for energy, curiosity, desire, and presence. This process requires honesty and it requires courage, but it is one of the most powerful steps a man can take toward aging with strength and quiet youthfulness. It means recognizing which moments in your life were painful, unjust, or deeply disappointing, and then making a clear and conscious choice not to let those moments dominate who you are today. It means acknowledging what hurt you instead of pretending it never happened. It means looking directly at anger without allowing it to decay inside you over time. It means choosing forgiveness, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many people believe it makes a man weak or passive, but in reality, forgiveness is one of the strongest decisions a man can make. It frees your nervous system from constant alert. And when your nervous system relaxes, your body responds. Your breathing deepens, your muscles soften. You begin to move through the world with ease, with intention, with a quiet and steady energy that naturally draws attention without effort. There is a calm confidence that appears when a man is no longer internally fighting his past. There is another layer to this that many men never stop to consider. Men who age well understand boundaries, not only in relationships, but in the emotional space they allow others to occupy inside them. They know what belongs to them emotionally and what does not. They understand that not every reaction, opinion, or expectation placed on them deserves space in their inner world. They refuse to carry other people's anger, frustration, disappointment, or dissatisfaction as if it were their own responsibility. They do not carry society's expectations like a heavy backpack strapped to their spine. They do not let gossip, criticism, or judgment settle in their chest and grow roots. They allow words to pass through without lodging inside them. This skill of emotional ownership is rare, and it is profoundly attractive. It sends a quiet signal of stability and self-respect. It tells the world that this man is not easily shaken, not controlled by others, not desperate for approval. It shows that he has built a solid inner foundation and that he moves through life with the relaxed confidence of someone who knows his value. You may be asking yourself how to begin releasing emotional weight that may have been carried for decades. The starting point is awareness. It always begins there. It begins with noticing your body. Notice the tension that lives in your shoulders. Notice the pressure in your chest. Notice the tight jaw, the clenched hands, the shallow breathing. These physical signals are not random. They are messages. They are signs of emotions that were never fully processed or released. These signals are not meant to be ignored or pushed away. Simply naming the emotion is powerful. Saying to yourself, this is anger, this is regret, this is grief, this is sadness, is the first step toward loosening its grip. You do not need to analyze every detail. You do not need to relive the story. You only need to recognize what is present. After awareness comes a deliberate choice. A choice to stop storing that emotion inside your body. You are not required to erase your memories. You are not required to reconnect with people who hurt you. You are not required to justify or minimize what happened. You only need to decide that the emotional weight no longer needs to live inside you. This choice, repeated daily, creates change. And once you practice this consistently, the effects become undeniable. You may notice your posture shifting slowly at first, your shoulders drop, your neck lengthens, you stand a little taller without trying, your face begins to soften. The lines carved by years of tension begin to ease. Your eyes regain a clarity and brightness that stress once dimmed. Even your voice changes. It becomes steadier, warmer, and more grounded. Women notice these changes almost instantly. So do men. People may not be able to explain what feels different about you, but they sense it. Your presence becomes calming. Your energy becomes inviting. You begin to feel magnetic, not because you are loud, wealthy, aggressive, or flashy, but because you are emotionally unburdened. You are no longer carrying invisible weight. This is why some men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond appear younger than men decades younger than them. It is not genetics alone. It is not luck. It is not a secret formula. It is the daily practice of releasing emotional weight that no longer serves them. It is the courage to move forward without dragging the past behind them like an anchor, and that courage changes everything. This is also the moment when you reclaim something society often implies you have lost with age: your energy, your vitality, your right to fully inhabit your body without shame or apology. You may not be able to change every external condition of your life. You may not be able to control outcomes, people, or circumstances, but you can choose what you carry into every room, every conversation, and every day. You can decide that the past will no longer press down on your shoulders. You can decide that old disappointments no longer deserve space in your nervous system. And by making that decision, you give yourself a rare and powerful gift, a body that feels lighter, a presence that feels grounded, a mind that feels clear and alive. This is not a small habit. It is not cosmetic. It is not optional. It is foundational. Without this internal freedom, no workout routine will fully work. No diet will truly show. No clothing style will create lasting impact. Without emotional release, everything remains surface level, but with it, everything aligns. Your movements become smoother, your reactions become slower and more thoughtful. Your face naturally brightens. You are no longer a man pulled backward by unresolved history. You become a man moving forward with clarity, purpose, energy, and the quiet magnetism of someone who has chosen to let go of what was never meant to be carried. The true key to looking younger than your age is not fighting time. It is releasing the emotional weight that ages you faster than time ever could. When you stop carrying old pain, your body stops reflecting it. Your nervous system calms, your hormones balance, your posture opens, your expression softens. You look more alive because you feel more alive. This is why emotional freedom is visible. It shows in how you walk, it shows in how you sit, it shows in how you listen and how you speak. Gentlemen, there is another element that quietly supports this transformation, and it often goes unnoticed. It is how you manage your time, your energy, and your attention. Time is not just hours on a clock. Energy is not just physical strength. Attention is not just focus. They are deeply connected. When you waste time on things that drain you emotionally, your energy leaks. When you give attention to negativity, resentment, or comparison, your body pays the price. Men who age well become selective. They do not rush, they do not overcommit, they do not scatter their attention in every direction. They protect their inner space. They invest their energy where it feels nourishing and aligned. They understand that rest is not laziness. Stillness is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. These moments are where the nervous system resets. This is where clarity returns. This is where the body repairs itself. When a man honors his time and energy, he naturally becomes more attractive. He moves with purpose. He speaks with intention. He listens without distraction. And that presence is rare in a world that is constantly rushing, reacting, and overstimulated. When you combine emotional release with intentional use of time and energy, something powerful happens. You stop feeling rushed by life. You stop feeling behind. You stop measuring yourself against outdated expectations. You begin to live from the inside out rather than reacting to everything outside you. This is the kind of stability that people feel immediately when they are around you. It creates trust, it creates attraction, it creates respect. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to who you were before the weight accumulated, before disappointments hardened you, before stress tightened your body, before you learned to hold everything in. Letting go is not losing something. It is removing what never belonged. And when you remove that weight, what remains is strength, calm, presence, and a quiet confidence that does not fade with age.